Hi, my name is Jan Croisetiere. My mom and dad were Otis and Doris Bendixson, and I had a brother Jim and a sister Judy, and I was the middle one. And I grew up in this church. I was baptized in this church. I was married in this church, and it truly means a lot to me. I had a small stained glass business in my home called Catch the Sun, where I mostly created sun catchers, as no one could really afford the larger windows. In the spring of 1986, a member of the Ecclesiastical Arts Committee approached me from Emmanuel Lutheran Church to present a bid to do stained glass windows in the Hemgren room. I was quite nervous, as it was a large project and I had never attempted a large project, but it was also a challenge and I knew I would learn a lot. I met with the Ecclesiastical Committee on a regular basis. The Hemgren window had a wood frame in the shape of a cross, and the committee decided that it would be appropriate to have the seasons of the church around the cross. We discussed the symbols that would represent each season and voted on which ones to use. I then drew a sketch of each window and took it to the committee. We finally agreed upon the designs, and I took the pieces of glass and they as a group decided upon the background colors and the colors for each window. I then drew up a colored sketch of what the windows would look like when the project was completed. The sketch was displayed, and the members of the congregation were able to donate money toward the window they wanted and could dedicate that window in their loved one's memory. I started the project by creating the two lower windows. I did the star first and then the crown of thorns. The crown of thorns was the window that took the most creativity, as I tried to create a sense of thorniness. I ended up soldering barbed wire over the lead to create that effect. The two side windows were 6 feet tall and were also a challenge. After doing some research, I learned that the largest that a window should be is 4 square feet. If it were any larger, in time, the weight of the window would compress the glass on the bottom and it would crack. So I divided each window into 3 separate windows. My dad, Otis Bendixson, installed steel horizontal bars and embedded them in the windowsill. That way, each window was held up separately. The trick was to keep the design flowing through the bars so that it still looked like one picture. Eventually, I made 6 windows representing each season of the church year. The Advent window was the branch of Jesse. The Lent window was the cross and the crown of thorns. The Christmas window was the burning bush. Easter was the empty tomb. The Epiphany window was the star, which had 5 points. And the Pentecost was the descending dove. Transporting the windows from my home in Lincoln Hills to the church was very stressful. I kept hoping that no one would run into us, as I could just see all of my work being smashed. But they all made it to the church safely. Installing the window took a few years off my life. I stood helplessly watching them be taken up a stepladder to their destination. I had no control over what would happen and had thoughts of them being dropped and crashing to the floor. I did a lot of praying. Most of the people helping me were retired and very patient with me. All of the windows were installed without a hitch. The entire project took a little over a year to complete. It was truly a challenge, but was also very rewarding. I've never had the opportunity to do a project that large again, but will always treasure the memories of doing this project.